probability, all that matters is the definitions of the term and how to apply it. I think that is one main important things in mathematics. You just have to know the name and the meaning behind the name, and that is exactly what we do on this channel. So today we are going to discuss a probability, and then another to find out the meaning of an event as well as a sample space, and then we proceed and talk about mutually exclusive and independent events. Okay, so let's have a discuss on an event, or maybe first of all the real definitions of what a probability. When I say probability, what exactly is a probability? So this word, what it means is that is a certain number into another, right? What I mean by that is a ratio of certain things, right? So let's say in your family, using a family for instance, so in your family you guys are 5 in all, so by assumption, right, assuming you guys are 5 in the family, so out of this we have only 3 boys, right? So boys is 5, so you can see that the ratio of the boys to the family is exactly what we are talking about, what a probability. What I mean by the ratio is that that should be 3/5, right? Something of this nature. Is that okay? So the boys here are what the event that we are talking about, and then the 5 is what totally the sample space, right? So this is the sample space, and then this is the event. So these are just the name. What matters here is that what is the meaning behind the name, right? So that is one thing you have to pay a close attention to. So that is just a simple definition of a probability. So it's the ratio of what the event to what the ratio of the sample space. So the sample space here is what whatever or anything that you are talking about, right? Anything that you are talking about, and then the event is exactly that particular thing we are picking from what the whole space. Is that okay? So as I say earlier on, so the sample space here can be what your entire family, and then the boys can be the event what we are looking for, right? So this is just a simple definition of what a probability. Okay, so what is the probability of boys to the girls? So maybe here I consider what will be the probability of the girls to what to the family, right? What's the probability of the girls to the family? So comment down below, just write the answer and comment down below. How can you get the number of the girls that you are dealing with? And then the next one is your duty to find the probability to that, right? So that is very simple. So we know that the boys are 5, so sorry, the boys are 3 here, so the entire family they are 5. So how many ladies or how many girls are in the family? And then the second part is also for you to find the probability to that. Okay, so that is just a quick discussion of the definitions of what a probability. So the event is exactly what you are looking for, and then your sample space is what where you are picking your item from, right? So that is just by opinion. Okay, so what I have here is that a female student to the total number of students in the class. So that is another way of describing what a probability. So let's say in the class you guys are 50, so 50 in the class, and then the ladies are 20. So what will be the probability, right? So the probability here will just be 20/50. That should be equal to 2/5. Is that okay? So that is the probability. One trick about probability here is that you have to make sure that when your answer should be between 0 to 1, right? So what I mean by 0 to 1 is that when you find your probability, as you can see, the first part from the first example you had 3/5. So when you divide it, your answer shouldn't be more than 1, right? Once you go beyond 1, then this thing can be more than 1, right? This thing can be more than 1. So once it goes beyond 1, then it is no more a probability. So the answer to a probability falls between what is 0 and 1. Okay, now let's have a look at these questions to demonstrate exactly how we can answer some of the probability questions. So here comes the first question. From the question, we are given a sample space, and then they want us to find the probability of what? A prime number. So two things you have to know. Now that we know a sample space, we know that a sample space is where we are picking what we are looking for, right? Okay, so this is the sample space. So this is just a notation for that, number of sample space, right? Number of sample space. Okay, so how many sample space are we having here? So how many items are we having at our disposal before we are selecting from that? So here you have from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 12, right? So in all, how many items are we having? So we are having 11 items at our disposal. So what are we picking? So this is the sample space. Anything that we are picking from the sample space here will be what? The events that we are talking about, right? So what is the event here? They say we should pick what? Prime number. So now it's your duty to know this guy, right? It's your duty to know a prime number. So who is a prime number, or what exactly is a prime number? So you may define a prime number in the comment section below, right? So try and define that. So okay, nice one. When you get the definitions of the prime number, you can see that prime number is from, we are picking the prime number from this sample space, right? This is a space where we are going to pick the prime numbers from. So how many are they? So we have 2, 3, 5, 7, and then 11. So we can get out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 people from these guys are what? Prime numbers. Is that okay? Now the question says you should find the probability, right? So the number of prime numbers from the sample space are 5. As you can see, we have what? Only 5 items here. Okay, so if the numbers are fair, what is the probability? I know that the probability is what? The event over the sample space. What I mean by the event of what we are selecting from the space, right? So what are we selecting? We are selecting 5, and then from where are we selecting? We are selecting them from 11 items, right? So this is the event here, and then this is what? The sample space, right? So this is the sample space. So this one gives me everything, the event and the sample space gives me a probability, right? So this is how simple you solve this type of a problem. So here now a coin is being tossed 3 times, right? And they say you should find the probability of obtaining at least 2 heads, right? So you've tossed a coin how many times? 3 times, right? So they say you should find the probability of obtain at least 2 heads. The meaning of at least 2 heads means that 2 or more heads, right? Okay, so how many times are we tossing the coins? We are tossing the coin 2 times, right? So this is one coin, right? So the head and the tail. Of course, the coin has what? A head and a tail. And then this is what? The second coin, right? So the second coin is the head and the tail. So assuming that we are tossing 3 different coins at the same time, right? So what will happen? I don't want to do that complicated thing, so I decided to go for just a 2 coin for the first time. Then when I'm done, I'll use my results result, the addition to the next one. Okay, so let's have a look. So this one is just for a 2 coins, right? So 2 coins here. We are having the first coin, that's the head and the tail. If you are told us, I'll get the head and the tail. And then what about the next one? So that one, so I'll get the head and the tail as well. So what will happen if you are told the 2 coins at the same time? I may either get head and the head, right? Or maybe I can get head and the tail, or maybe I can even the tail can come first and then the head will follow, or maybe 2 tails at the same time, right? So this is something that I can get when I toss the 2 coins. Is that okay? So one can be the head and the head, or the other one can be the head and the tail, or the tail and the head and then tail or tail, right? So these are the things that I'll get. So this is some of the results that I may get when I toss the 2 coins, right? So I can get this. So how many possibilities that I'm having? I'm having 4 different possibilities, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that okay? This is just for 2 coins. But how many times the coins is being tossed? The coins is being tossed 3 times, right? So let's look at the third one. So we are going to use this, and then we add another coin to that. So let's look at that coin. So here you go. So now I'm having a very nice table here. So this was the first results that I got after tossing the first one. So this line goes for the first result that I tossed after tossing the first 2 coins. So what about the next one? So this was just another coin that I'm adding to these guys, right? So what will be the results that I'll get? So when I toss, I may get maybe, let's say, a head here, right? So all the heads can come in front, or maybe I can get head, and then the third one will be tail, and then followed by what? head, tail, head. So how I do this is that I use this guy to comply with this first two, right? So this guy can be, this guy here to be head, 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 right? So when I pick the head first, and then what is here, head, tail. That's why I got this guy here. So the head first, right? So and then what is here, tail, head. So the head, tail, what, head. And then what is here first? So oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. So you can see that there's a very nice mistake there. So let's just correct that. So here will be what, here will be what, here should be head, 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 tail, tail. Can you see? Okay, so that is a very perfect. So on the next line, we are having what, so the tail first, and then let's combine that with what, the first two results. So that will be what, tail, and then head, head, right? So I have a tail here, so here should be what, tail, head, tail. Can you see? So I have a tail here, and then tail, tail, head, right? So tail, tail, head, right? So that's also how I got this beautiful result. So when I toss the three different coins, you can see that I may have these results, right? I may have these results up, right? One of them what is a possibility. Okay, now let's answer the question. Now that, so what is the name of this guy? This will be what, the name of what, the sample space, right? So this will be the name of what, the sample space that we are talking about. So meaning that this is where we are going to select what we are looking for, right? So how many are they in all? Can you say that they are 8, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? In all they are 8. So what are we selecting? We are selecting at least 2 heads, right? At least 2 heads. So what I mean by that, at least 2 heads, right? So at least 2 heads. What does that mean? 2 or more head, right? 2 or more heads. So I consider I have 1 head here, so this is 1, and then I have another one, this is 2. I have 2 different heads, so this is 3, this one is not part, so this will be 4, and then this is also not part, this is also not part, this is also not part, right? Can you see? So in all there are 4. So if the event, they say should find the probability. So what will be the probability? So if the event is what, 4, so the event here is what, is equal to 4, right? It's equal to 4. And then what is the sample space? So we know that's the definition of what, probability. So the sample space here is what? So how many things are we selecting? Where are we selecting from? We are selecting from 8 different items, right? So this guy is okay. We are selecting from these guys, so they are 8. So the probability of that will be probability of what, at least, right? At least 2 heads. So let me use that symbol, right? At least 2 heads is equal to 4 over 8, not to be equal to 1 over 2. So this one will be what, our probability. Is that okay? Of course, this is equal to 0.5. You can see that this is not more than what, 1, right? It doesn't go beyond 1. That is exactly the definition of probability. So if you enjoyed this video, you may consider subscribing to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching.